still needed and what some of the biggest needs that you all see needing to be addressed. Don't need to get into whether this necessarily addresses it or not, but some of your perspective on what we need moving forward on the education front.
Thank you. I think we owe this gentleman just an applause for coming down and for his word. Thank you. We forgot. I know he and others have worked very hard on this bill, and it's very important to change the funding structure. And so I'm very happy that we're focused on that. I'm not here in opposition to the bill in any way. I'm also not here in support of the bill. I'm a skeptic in terms of the messaging and the reforms, the corporate reforms that a lot of times are behind. And I'm very concerned about the privatization path that we're headed on. And so I may raise some questions, but if you don't know me, my name's Arturo Jimenez. I'm a school board member and about my 6th year on the school board, representing District 5. Thank you. And so I do, as Owen mentioned, my district does encompass Baker, so a very small part of, after the redrawing of District 2. Prior to that, I was president of the Colorado Statewide Parent Coalition, where I was involved for have been involved for over 20 years with them, and the main work that we would do is go to different parts of the state, talk to parents in English and Spanish, and sometimes in Asian languages here, like Vietnamese, and explain school funding so that the parent could understand and advocate. So we would talk a lot about Title I, Title III, IDEA, which is special education, and then we would talk about the state funding and give you all the sad statistics, how we are underfunding our education system here. And basically we would skip the entire formula and get to, your kid gets X amount of dollars per student in each district, and that's basically the information that we would give. So starting from there, it's interesting. I'm watching the state legislature, and as a school board member, there are a number of things that those of us in the school board would like to see. I'm also a member of a national consortium of 12 school districts around the nation that is working with Congress. We're lobbying and working directly on federal reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, otherwise known as No Child Left Behind. And we all know that that was a huge unfunded mandate that had goals that could not be reached. All kids be proficient by next year. Ridiculous. Well, the law expired. And so President Obama and Arne Duncan then wrote in basically waivers that the Congress said you can't do that. And they said, well, we'll give these waivers if you do certain things, if you adopt teacher evaluations and Common Core that we're going to direct from the federal level, essentially. And so that means more unfunded mandates that we have to go through. That means policy that not all of us agree with that are helpful to students and kids. So the problem, where I'm getting at, is the problem is much greater than simply, we changed the School Finance Act, we have a little bit more money in certain districts, we're able to then fix all the problems that we have, all the issues. It's not quite that simple, and that's where I arrive at the skepticism. I want to see us have more money, but I'm also very concerned about the policy issues. We have some bills on the books right now, like Senate Bill 191, that, in my opinion, are hurting the kids in the hardest to serve schools because it's gauging teachers. A great part of their evaluation is based on their students' test scores. And we all accept that their socioeconomic status is usually the greatest indicator of how those students will do on those test scores. So those teachers who choose to serve in the hard-to-serve schools are going to be graded down. And that creates a disincentive. The best teachers then go to the districts that have less socioeconomic problems. So there's a lot of issues around policy where we have a lot of disagreement within the community. And this also gives me the skepticism around a tax increase if it's tied to the corporate reforms, as I call them, that we're also talking about. I would like to see, and I want to put these out there because I want to tell you why I'm not, jumping on board the campaign to pass this, there are a number of laws that we've been asking for at the school board level that would assist us to help students in each of our districts. Number one would be a Charter School Act rewrite in Colorado. We could simply look to other states like Illinois. Some of my colleagues on the national consortium are in states where we have a more robust and accountable charter system that allows us to create better schools through that charter system. And Illinois is one of those. We could simply adopt one of those. I'm still waiting for the state legislature to bring that about because I don't see that charter schools are accountable